Hello everyone, let's have a look at the brand new tooled F-35B Lightning II from Italeri. Okay, so let's start by looking at the gift box. So it's a 1/72 scale kit. So this is the B version, the short takeoff and vertical landing for the Navy. And kit number 1425, and it has 3 different options for markings. So it's British, US and Italian. And for the US version there's also the so-called beast mode, where you have a lot of attached pylons, hard points under the wings, and you add more weapons in that case. Okay, so on the side we have some information about the kit. We have a built up model, and yeah, some more information. Here we have the 3 livery options, and yeah, that's it basically. Alright, so let's open up the box. In the box we have the assembly instructions, decals, and we have one big bag with, I think it's 3 sprues with grey plastic and 1 sprue with clear parts, tinted clear parts. So we will have a look at that in a second. So if we start to look at the first sprue here, we have the fuselage halves, and they are separated in top and bottom, which makes perfectly sense for this type of aircraft. And if we start by looking at the underside here, there are a lot of details. It's a really busy weapons bay, and yeah, there's a lot of things to do here in terms of painting and weathering. So that's really nice. I also noticed that the surfaces look really nice, but there are raised sort of the ram, the outline of the ram paint is sort of raised, and it's very pronounced here on the sides, I think. I'm not sure if I like that, but let's I have to think about that. We also have a nicely detailed engine. I'm not quite sure how much of this you are actually going to see. I don't think you will see anything of it. And yeah, and here we have the funnel or the exhaust for the, well, this is the when it's pointing downwards, of course, and then you have a second part if you want to point the engine backwards. So you have to decide on that when you assemble the engine. I see there is a little bit of flash here actually on that part, and it can be a bit tricky to clean that up because you have all these small rivet details. Or so yeah, but that that is maybe not a big issue. Apart from that, everything looks fantastic. There are really nice details here in the air intake area, and for the front fan, that looks really nice. Yeah. Apart from that, I think there are a couple of ejection pin marks here in the inside of the intakes. But to be honest, I don't think that you will see that actually. Maybe you have to do something about this one here. Yeah, maybe. But I don't think these I don't think you're gonna see those. Yeah, looking good. And the nozzle. Yeah, that looks really nice. Really nice details. Yeah, I like that. I have to think about those raised ram areas a little bit, if I like that or not. Okay, so on the second sprue we have the cockpit. There are actually some small details there, so but I guess everything will probably be black or grey anyway. All the doors for the weapon bay and the undercarriage, they look fantastic. Really good. There is a small sink mark on the cover, or the door for the front fan. Yeah, and the louvers looks really nice. A little bit of cleanup is needed, but that is really good actually. And we have wheels, 2 parts that you glue together that are weighted, which is really good if you're building it gear down on the ground. But I mean, if you are going to build this with sort of hovering, coming in for landing in a small vignette or diorama, then I think that you will have to get replacement racing wheels or something like that, because it will obviously look very silly with weighted wheels that are hanging in the air. So yeah, that is. Here's the front wheel. Yeah, but the details are great. They look really good. And the control surfaces and the tail fin looks okay as well. Yeah. Yeah, there are a couple of flow marks on the plastic, but that shouldn't cause any trouble, I think. Yeah, and we have some weapons for the weapons bay, I guess. And here is the share. Looks good. Oh, there are a couple of sink marks here on the control surfaces. Yeah, you have to fill those and sand that. But that is not that is not a big issue. Okay, the details are really nice. It's much better than I expected, actually. But of course, this is a new tooling, and if you look at the landing gear struts here, there are actually some wires in the yeah, that looks really nice. Okay, and we have the separate sprue with the external stores. So these are the pylons and the laser guided bombs, and I guess these are sidewinders. They look a little bit strange. A little bit thin and pointy compared to what I'm used to. Yeah, you have to check your references, and maybe you want to replace those with some aftermarket. But apart from that, everything looks really nice, and there are some really nice details here as well. See if I can focus on that. Yeah, that looks really nice. Ah, I see now that it's a cart. Okay. Okay, so you can I didn't understand what this was first, but this is sort of, if you make a small vignette or something, then you can add a cart with the weapons on. So that's a nice touch, I think. Cool. Okay, let's have a look at the clear parts. And there is a seam on the top, or some kind of line in the middle, and maybe it should be there actually. It's on the inside, so it's really difficult to remove it, but I guess that is something that is supposed to be there. And the windscreen and the canopy comes in one piece, so there are what I think is some navigation lights and a lens for optic sensor. Yeah, and in a sort of yellowish, brownish tinted color. Looks really nice. And the decals. Okay. Let's see if we can get a good shot. There are I think that the Union Jack is a little bit out of register. I think there maybe, but it's a pity because I was planning to build the British one. So okay, but no big deal. And we have these are for the weapons, and we have the markings for the Italian version and the US version, of course. And So this is for the this part is for the glass cockpit, I guess, the instrument panel. And there seems to be some details or ram painted parts that they are supplied as decals, but I don't think that it will not cover the whole aircraft. So, but on the other hand, if you look at the F-35B, the paint is not the same as for the earlier versions. With you don't have that sort of big difference between the camo and the RAM areas. So the paint is almost the same color now, and so it's more sort of maybe you need to add some metal sheen to it, or just a slight change in if you are using some kind of flat coat, or you may have to work with two different types of flat coat to enhance the radar absorbing material areas. But so it's really not a big difference between colors for that. So I guess you can leave out these and paint everything. If you are so inclined. It's a big job to mask that, but and it's not easy in 1/72 scale for sure. Okay, I think they look nice. There's not an excessive amount of carrier film. The decals look a little bit matte, but I think that if you're going to gloss coat everything and before weathering, then I guess it's not an issue. Okay, so yeah, that looks nice. Okay, so it's quite a thick assembly instructions, so there's a lot of information here, I think. On the front page we have some information about the aircraft in 6 different languages, and on the second page we have the sprue call out and the suggested colors, and they have actually included both the Italeri and the FS numbers for the paint. So this is good, because that makes you can pick your, if you want to paint with MRP or Guns, Aquas, or whatever, then you can look up those colors and find the one that is suitable for your subject. Okay. All right, we start with the cockpit, with some seat belts with decals. Yeah. Don't know if I want to use that, but we'll see. And then we assemble the cockpit tub, and you add on the okay, so that's the that's the hinges for the canopy. All right, then you have to drill some holes depending on if you are going to build it with external stores or not. Yeah, landing gear, louvers for the front fan, Then we continue with the engine and the transmission shaft for the front fan. Yeah, here you decide if you want to do if you want to have the rear nozzle pointing downwards or not. And then we mate the fuselage halves and put on rudders and horizontal and vertical stabilizers. Yeah. And we have the landing gear. We populate the weapon space. Yeah. Quite many steps, but it's a very good assembly instruction with many short steps. It's easier for sort of beginner to assemble a kit like that when it's done in that fashion, instead of having everything in sort of the whole build in four steps or something like that. That is really horrible if you're not an experienced builder. Okay, so then we have landing gear doors and the wheels. Then you have to decide on which how you want to pose the rear doors here. And we have the external hard points and the weapons if you want to put them on the aircraft. Then we install the top doors for the fans and the air intakes. We have the canopy with the supports, some pitot tubes, and here you have the cart or the trolley, if you want to call it that. Yeah. Then we have the paint and decal call out. Really nice to have it in color like this. Very nice. And we have a nice detailed color and decal call outs for the weapons and the cart as well. Really nice. Okay, so what are my impressions of this kit? To make it short, I think it looks like a really great kit. A lot of detail. It seems like a really fun build. With all the details and the engine and all the weapons and weapon base and everything. The instructions were surprisingly good, I think. So I would actually recommend this kit to a beginner, even if it's a lot of parts. But I think with that, with the build-up and the instructions, I think this is something that beginner can. This is a kit that a beginner can appreciate and put together a really nice model. The only things I think of in aftermarket, maybe if you're going to build it in a vertical landing post like this, then you will probably need to do something about those weighted wheels. I don't know if there are resin replacement parts available, but I'm sure there are. That would probably be. And the only thing I saw that was sort of molding artifact was a sink mark or two on the flaps. But that's it basically. Apart from that, everything looked really nice. So yeah, it's a great kit, and Italeri have done a really good job with this one. Okay, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this inbox review, and happy modeling. Take care, and I see you soon. Goodbye.